Blaire White, transphobic grifter, and actually, I don't think I would call her a grifter, but a transphobic trans woman. I know, it sounds like an oxymoron, but it's true, and we're gonna find out together why I say that. She's taking on the trans athlete, non-question, because it's really not a question. There's been a lot of research on this. If you want, Riley Grace Rochon has a research document that can show that pretty well. And I know a lot of other YouTubers have talked about this, but I want to do it too. It's my lane. I'm a trans woman and I'm an athlete, and I want to fucking talk about this. And it's my birthday, so get the fuck over it. So, all right, let's go ahead and enjoy the suffering together. Trans athlete. I belong in women's sports. Get over it.
A lot more people that...
Oh, fuck. I have those exact leggings. Oh, fuck yes. Slay. Not Blaire, obviously.
supported me than I expected, especially some of the big name lifters and people that were very well respected in the sport.
Also, for those of you who don't know who she was, that's Janae Marie Kroc. There was a YouTube documentary, or not YouTube, a actual documentary on Netflix about her, and I want to say she uses she/her pronouns. 90% sure. Transgender, gender fluid, non-binary. Oh, yep. Okay. Uses adopting female pronouns. Okay, that's what I thought. But at any rate, oh yeah. So let's just take a minute really quick and actually no, we're not gonna do that. But this is her. She is a power lifter and a weightlifter, and she's been, God, she held like the world record for years and years and years and years and years, and then she transitioned. And even this photo is like she's had FFS in this photo, like, because that's what her face looked like before. Or no, is that? Am I right there? Or am I wrong? Hold on. Or I said prior to surgery. Yeah, no, that's her face prior to surgery, and like you can tell that she's had surgery. So like even in this photo here, this is the one that Blaire is using, and a lot of other people have used when they've been referring to her videos and such. This is her like after she's had. I think she's only had FFS. I don't know if she's had bottom surgery. And I don't believe she's had top surgery. I could be mistaken on that, but like. She's only had FFS. But anyway, this is her after she's had FFS, and I think she had vocal cord surgery too. So yeah, like, she's awesome. She's fucking yoked. She's a amazing athlete. Like, holy shit, huge inspiration to myself. Like, just watching her and what she's gone through. Like, I actually watched that documentary on Netflix, which I think everyone should. No. This is a trans woman, and if you actually, you know what? Fuck this. You're just being a disrespectful little shit. Have fun, buddy boyo. Enjoy that time out there. Keep watching so you can actually learn something about what it's like to be transgender. But she has a Netflix documentary called Transformer. If you haven't seen it, 100% go watch this. This is absolutely incredible, absolutely amazing, and it really talks about kind of what it's like to be transgender in modern America, and how it kind of can affect on a lot of different aspects. Anyway,
the first licensed professional male boxer who happens to be trans. I never wanted to be the first. I just wanted to box.
Okay, sorry. I need to steel myself down. Okay. All right.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video topic is a little bit touchy, although I'm not quite sure why I'm warning you about that.
So I know some people haven't seen her stuff before, but everything she talks about is usually like, well, here's a really, in some, and this is a really like quote unquote controversial subject that's being brought up in the mainstream media, but I'm a shitty person and I disagree with what people are trying to say, and it's always a trans issue, and because they're not me, they're wrong.
Have I ever done a single video on a subject that isn't touchy? I don't think I ever have.
Actually, she's done plenty of videos on subjects that aren't touchy. It's just that she's usually wrong, so she gets a lot of like hate and stuff. Like, look at her ratio here: 26K upvoted to 5.1K downvoted. That's not really common for a lot of like YouTubers of your size. First of all, your views are abhorrent for someone who has almost 1 million subscribers, like only 300,000. Jesus Christ. But like, yeah, okay. Continue.
Y'all don't come here for candle reviews. I'm sure there's someone out there who does it and does it very well, but bitch,
You're right. I don't want her opinion on candle reviews. Holy shit, I don't want her opinion on candle reviews.
that's not me. So, let's talk. So we've talked about trans sports before, trans people in sports, but there are some recent developments. Recently, Idaho moved toward banning the inclusion of male to female trans.
And the previous videos where she talked about trans sports was literally her dunking on trans women because they didn't look like her.
Trans people in girls' sports, in college and high school, and on a federal level, there is the Protection of Women and Girls in Sports Act, which was just introduced, has not passed yet, but
Also, by and large, the data on this is settled. I'm gonna see if I can't find it. That trans women in sports doesn't actually like, hold on. Right here. I don't know what this document I'm looking at in here is, but this is the one. No, I want you. This is actually a really well put together research outline, where she actually talks about sports and talks about how all this. Maybe this is the wrong one. Anyway, there's been a ton of research on this subject that, by and large, people who even have been on like hormones and stuff, like that, there's a lot that by and large, if you're someone who transitioned either young and you're going to compete, there is almost no evidence to show that you will have some sort of advantage over like someone who's cisgender in and also this all is predicated upon a transgender woman perspective, mostly because people don't really talk about trans men in sports a lot, because anytime that they do, it's usually they'll I'm really happy that you're participating, and your participation trophy will come in the mail, kind of thing like that. They don't actually take them seriously because they don't actually feel like they're going to win, and so that's kind of what that's kind of where all of this is taking place on. Like, it's not like they actually care and they actually think it's a good thing. They look at them as such like a small minor part of like, well, this isn't really hurting anyone because you're not going to win anyway type of deal. It's not a, taking this as a very serious subject like it should be type of situation. So when there's specifically a lot of the people who make criticisms of this are targeting trans women for that fact. But if you look at the actual like data behind everything, let me. What's the data? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so the narrative is that they have an unfair advantage, which that doesn't actually present it, showed up in data. There is basically the idea of it is that they've done a lot of research and stuff of like similar competitions in different areas in different parts of the world, and that there are outliers in a lot of similar places around the world and stuff like that too. So like, say the Olympics is actually a really good example of this. Like, you could have someone in like Italy who is like well, I don't know. Like, say they're competing in, I don't know. Pick a sport. Kayaking. You know, you could have someone who is, you know, from Italy doing really fucking well in kayaking, but then someone in, you know, and for any number of reasons, like, I don't know if Italy is particularly good at kayaking. But you could have someone who is completely different build, completely different hormone level, all this kind of stuff, and they're still allowed to compete together. But, you know, there's no question being brought around that because they're both cis women. However, when you put a trans woman in the mix, everyone gets their, you know, like, everyone gets all, like, fucking, oh my fucking god! And, like, that's really what happens about this. So when you are looking this through and you're trying to understand how and why all of this happens and what the takeaway from all of this looks like, the reason people say specifically trans women don't offer an advantage is, yes, there are outliers. Yes, Janae Marie Kroc is an outlier. But that's why Blaire's picking this person. Also, as we're going to talk about later in the video, she doesn't compete against women. She competes against men. Really, really, really important distinction there. But when you're looking at this... Oh, thanks for the follow. When you're looking at this information, what you need to understand and you need to take from that extrapolation is, oh, thank God, I'm now being followed by a gigantic boner. Holy shit. What you need to take from that information is that typically, like, the thing that plays the biggest part in, like, competitive sports, like, I'll use hockey as an example, is number one, not your athleticism, but your, like, intake, your like what your personal exercise regimen is. How do you focus that personal exercise regimen? Do you focus that on endurance training? Do you focus that on strength training? Like, I do a little bit of lifting, or I used to before COVID happened, but now I don't trust going to a gym. Throwing that out there. But because of all of that with COVID and everything, you know, so before COVID happened, I would go out and do lifting, and instead focusing my time on lifting, it didn't actually help my hockey playing, at least in the fullest effect that it could, because I wasn't focusing on HIIT, I wasn't focusing on intensity as far as, like, endurance training, like, because when I'm on the ice, in order to get the most out of the ice, you know, your weight is huge in that, like, or your body fat percentage. Like, if you have a lower body fat percentage and higher muscle mass, and your muscles are, you know, built in a proportionate manner, like, you're not over focusing one area versus another area, you're going to see better results. But there's, like, your exercise and your personal training regimen can happen. It can happen with what kind of trainers you're talking to. Like, if I go out and I'm looking at, you know, talking to a coach, like, so I'm playing in goalie, versus if I'm just going off to, you know, if me and another person start at the same time with the exact, like, if I make a copy of myself and we both start doing stuff at the exact same time, there is an entirely plausible chance that, you know, so the two copies of me do everything the same except for when we're going out and getting ice time, I'm not working with the trainer. I'm just going out and playing in drop-ins. But, you know, my copy spends half her time with a trainer and the other half her time in drop-ins. Because she's working with a trainer, she'll get much better than I will, much faster, because she's working with someone who can teach her specific things, focus her in specific areas, focus on repetition, focus on a lot of that kind of stuff. And that's a very common thing, especially when you're looking at sports. So there's a lot more that goes into it than just, oh, hey, here's what your testosterone and your estrogen levels look like. Like, hormones play almost no... I say hormones do play a level into it, but the amount that hormones play a level into it is not as high as many, many, many other factors, and nor is it the most determinant factor. So, yeah. With that having gotten out of the way, let's continue.
Clearly, the sentiment is there. The frustration with trans sports is increasing. You know, I've kind of predicted this for quite a while, that eventually...
No, the only frustration is people like you, who are just shitty people, don't like the idea that people are being and doing what they want to do.
People will get fed up enough to start passing laws about this stuff, and it is happening. In this video, I want to react to some trans athletes, a trans powerlifter, and I also want to talk about female to male trans athletes, because
So really quick, a lot of people who've covered this video already just focus on the first half. I want to pay attention to both halves, mostly because I'm really interested to see what she has to say. So yeah.
I've never actually even talked about that, and I don't think anyone ever usually does. They're kind of...
Also, that's not true. People do talk about this, but again, when it gets typically talked about outside of people being like, this is fucking awesome and really fucking cool, typically it's covered in a way such that, oh, well, good for you. I'm really happy for you. Oh my God, good for you. Like, that's typically how it gets covered, and it's not treated in a serious manner because people don't, because like besides, you have people like me who are like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. We need more people like this. But then you have the people who are like actively against trans women in sports, just look at trans men and they're just like, well, they're not gonna win, so it's not a big deal, but good for you. Like, that kind of Karen bullshit.
I don't know. People just really ignore that side of the coin when it comes to the whole like sports issue. So we're going to talk about that and all of the bans and what my personal feelings on the bans are. So let's get started with Janae Marie Kroc. She's a trans powerlifter, and here's her story.
Was being like the most intense, the craziest. So I was like the alpha of the alphas. And so I was like the last person in the world that anyone suspected. And that's what made it, I think, even more shocking and made it more difficult for me to come out. A lot more people.
That is true. That is very true. There can be levels of like how your perceived masculinity or femininity plays a part into your social role and social expectations. It can really be played a part into like, I'm trying to think of like the best way to describe this. God. Basically, it's very true that plays a perspective in that, like, so I was a fairly masculine person before coming out, and there's some people who are like, yeah, I knew that, you don't have to tell me, but then there are other people who are like, what the fuck? And they're just like, but you're not this way. And it's just like, obviously you're wrong. I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but it's like, obviously that's not the case. And, sorry to disappoint, but like, there's like, it's very true. It can be more difficult if you are perceived as one way versus being perceived as another way. And that goes for, male to female, female to male, even if you come out and say you're not binary, anything like that, it can go, that's it. But and it's not like it doesn't mean it's a bad thing if that's not the case. But it's just, that's how some people perceive it. Also, like I said, I have those fucking leggings, and bless, they're so good.
People that supported me than I expected, especially some of the big name lifters and people that were very well respected in the sport, and that was really nice to see. But the fan base, there were a lot of people that were very upset about it.
So one thing I do want to talk about that fan base thing is in the Netflix documentary, there's a lot of stuff that like where she's going around to like lifting competitions, and people recognize her. Like I knew who she was, but I wasn't like, I know a ton. It was one of those things where like, oh, okay, I know of this person. I know that they're a power lifter, or that, she's a bodybuilder and power lifter, but I really couldn't have told you, if she had tons of records or anything like that. I was just like, oh, I've heard of this person before, is kind of what it was. But after that, I was like, holy shit, she's basically a celebrity here.
Okay. So, disclaimer. I have no hatred in my heart for...
Holy shit. Starting this off with a disclaimer. Jesus fucking Christ, Blaire. All right. Get your shitty disclaimer out of the way.
Janae. I think Janae seems like a really nice person and obviously is an amazing athlete. I mean, trans aside, anything else...
Also, I don't think Blaire knows this is I hate the term pre and post transition because that includes that there's like an end to a transition, and it's really weird and touchy subject I tend not to use it, but this is after she's come out and started identifying as female and presenting as female for certain situations. Again, she's non-binary, so she'll still present masculine. This is just her presenting masculine, and I don't think this was even all too long ago. I think this was like late last year, early this year. But like, I'm 90% sure this is Blaire like just dragging on her and pretending that this is when she was still male. So way to fucking go there, Blaire. Oh shit.
That's a part of the story aside. You cannot deny that is some amazing bodybuilding. Like, that's crazy. Like, who looks like that? Like, no one looks like that.
I mean, obviously she does. Like, do you really want to take a look at bodybuilders? Like, people look like this. This isn't like some crazy thing. You know, both men and cis women look like this. Like, or cisgender men and cisgender women look like this. Like, these are actual bodybuilders. Like, this is Photoshop. Again, 2 actual bodybuilders. Like, there's even like female bodybuilders that are absolutely fucking yoked. Like, Jesus Christ. Again, male bodybuilder. Like, if you want to look at the female bodybuilders, there are women who are massive. Like, female bodybuilders. We can keep going on doing this. More female bodybuilders. Obviously, this isn't a super unobtainable, you know, like body. That's photoshopped. Sorry. Again, more body. Like, this is something that people actually do look like. They spend a lot of time and a lot of money, like, because it is not cheap to do this, or to get into a shape like this. It's actually not cheap. You would be surprised.
And I am not trying to make fun of her appearance. I know people will just run to that because people like
Also, you are trying to make fun of her appearance. It's holy fucking shit. That's what you just did.
to just say I'm a big old meanie rather than address
I'm Blaire Wade. I'm a big old meanie. People don't like me because I make fun of trans people. Jesus Christ.
any of my points, but I'm really not making fun of her appearance. I mean, I think that obviously her appearance is outlandish, and I think that
What the fuck? It's outlandish? Okay, there are so many different ways that you can, like, compliment a person for being, like, super muscular. Like, you can be like, wow, she has, you know, she's really dedicated to, you know, shaping her body. She's a incredible athlete. She has, you know, great muscle definition. Like, outlandish? What the fuck?
even she would admit that, because how could she not? But that's not the point. The bigger point is the idea, the concept of Janae competing against biological women.
Okay, so first of all, she doesn't, as we've talked about before. And in fact, there was even something where she responded to Oh, no, it was in this video. It was in this video. Blaire, I really wish you'd have reached out to me on this before making a video, including me and spreading a bunch of misinformation. If you have done some research ahead of time, you have known that all of my records and championships were achieved in the men's division. I have never competed as a woman, and I have been vocal about the fact I have no intention to. I respect your right to have your own opinion on trans athletes or any other topic, but spreading misinformation only causes more problems. If you have any questions or would like to discuss this further, feel free to reach out. Now, holy fucking shit. Like, she even went through, like, in something, I don't remember when it was, but she went through and she made, like, a post on social media, or she was talking on social media about how she's like, I am not competing against women. Even, like, when she decided to get back into the sport, she's like, I am specifically competing against men.
And is...
Like,
ludicrous. It's almost intentionally ignorant.
But it's not true. If you would have done even a cursory glance, you would know it's not true.
Anyone who thinks that that is some sort of level playing.
Also, here's a fun story. I'm tall. I have a bit wider shoulders, yes. But if I were to go out and compete against cisgender women in bodybuilding, I would not be seen by you as to have an unfair advantage. You know, there's a lot of things that trans women can do. Like I said, she is an outlier. Yes, no one is disagreeing with that. Even she would say, I'm an outlier. But she understands I shouldn't be competing in this division. She has competed, and the only time she's been in that division is for exhibition only. Like, and very clear, like, she's like, I'm going to go to a powerlifting contest, and I'm judging, but then I'm going to go and be an exhibition only and show off my own lifting, because I can do that. You know, like, that's entirely possible.
Field is a liar. You're lying to her, you're lying to others, and you're lying to yourself, sweetie.
But again, Jesus fucking Christ. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck was that, Blaire? Holy shit. Was that just some like cute accentuating a point bullshit? Jesus Christ.
The idea that Janae, who transitioned well into her adulthood and developed completely male, can now compete against women is bad. It's a
No, it's not. 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 No, it's not.
bad idea. It's a failed idea.
How? Okay, and also she's just making platitudes. There's no argument here to be made. Because she knows that there is no argument that would support her claim. There is no amount of data that would support her claim. Like, I'm not saying Blaire, I honestly don't think Blaire's stupid. Blaire knows what she's doing, and Blaire knows what she's saying. But when you press her and you try and get these answers out of her, she will never answer or respond in a positive manner. She's just not that genuine, because she's doing this to get views. Also, her whole goal is, I'm the good one. That's her whole perspective on this. I'm the good trans. Like, that's it. That's all that there is to this.
I mean, the audacity of anyone to pretend or insist that there are no very obvious benefits that Janae, as someone who developed completely male well into her adulthood, would enjoy when competing against.
Wait. I went through 25 years of testosterone, or male puberty, and then went to the age of like 25, 26 before even starting transitioning socially, much less hormonally, and I don't experience advantages over women in women's sports. Like, when people make these claims, they're talking about people like me. I have experience and some advantages in hockey, but that's not because that I went through how many of testosterone. That's because I grew up playing hockey. I understand things about the game. I understand things about the sport because that's what I did when I was growing up. This doesn't have anything to do with the fact that, I was, that I went through and I had testosterone for so long. It's because I understand the sport.
Against people who did not develop male is insanity. And something we don't often see is that Janae actually went back post-transition and competing against men just because
she wanted to compete again. And I'm actually kind of glad you bring this up, because this is kind of insane. But yes, she did. And she literally said, I'm competing against men because, this is the actual post in 2019. After much thought and discussion, I have decided to return to the competition. I will be working with Justin Harris at Troponin Nutrition. I don't know. My goal is to obtain my IFBB Pro card. This was the goal I was pursuing when I was outed in 2015, and was subsequently took a backseat to everything else that was going on in my life. I know she was maliciously outed, and I don't remember who did that to her, but I do remember that was the case when she was out. It was, and she, like, basically everything went into, like, crazy with her personal life, which understandable. I'm a competitor by nature without a specific goal to focus my training, and I'm a competitor by nature and without a specific goal to focus on my training. Since that time has lacked direction and intensity. Recommitting to this goal excites me, and I'm looking forward to grinding away in the gym again, like I was always known for.
I guess.
And again, she did this because she understood that she had a prior history here of competing in the men's division, and that going and competing in the women's division was not fair. She was already a world record, a record breaker in the men's division, and it was not fair to go into the women's division and compete there.
Like, it was kind of like, she's gone back and forth competing with men and women.
She's never competed against women, though. She's never competed against women.
Based on I don't know what. That's just a dick move. No pun intended.
Holy shit! That was totally fucking intended by Blaire. Jesus fucking Christ. God damn it. Oh my god. Sorry. I forgot how much it pains me to watch Blaire White's videos.
Okay, pun intended, but I'm a fucking tranny, so I can make that pun. Anyways.
Okay, I'm doing this collectively, and I'm going to take a minute and speak for the community as a whole. Honey, we're taking away that card. We're taking away your Tran card. No, Tran Ma coming in, Tony is gone. Fuck out of here.
A very important point that I see almost no one ever making online, and these are conversations that you guys know I follow very closely online in the discourse.
Again, when she says she follows the discourse, she follows, like, Ben Shapiro in the discourse and the dogmatic shit of the discourse.
I see anyone making the point that, like, the age at which someone transitions matters a lot when it comes to should they be on a certain team when they're playing sports.
Because typically it doesn't. The science shows that it doesn't.
If a male to female trans person transitions at 12 or 13 and never ever experienced...
Trump beat off while he had COVID. Yes, I did hear that.
Does even a drop of male puberty and never develops male, like, you have a much better argument for why that person is cleared to go on the girls' team. But when you have someone who is in their 30s or 40s and transitions and gets to keep all of the muscle mass and the bone density.
But again, there's no scientific data to show that. There's no scientific data to show that, you know, like, because you transitioned later in life that you have some sort of distinct advantage. It just does not exist in science. We don't see that. We absolutely don't see that.
And the height and the
Well, it's a good thing men aren't playing on a girls' team.
hand size and just all of that.
Also, hold on. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna bring chat back on screen so someone can see so we can see what this person in chat is spewing.
What I can't. Let's just list off some facts, rapid fire style.
All right, facts. We're gonna see. We're gonna stop and we're gonna debunk these. And does she have a fucking? Oh my god.
Here, biologically speaking, male athletes average 4 to 12% body mass. Females average 12 to 23, so double.
Okay, and that's an average, and typically it's average at the professional level. What is the overall aspect of, like, you know, at the professional level versus non-professional level versus the people who are those who do identify trans, like less than 1% of the population identifies as transgender. So even then, like 4 to 12%, like what the fuck are they talking about? Body mass? Hold on.
Biologically speaking, male athletes average 4 to 12% body mass. Females average 12 to 23, so double.
Again, this isn't actually talking about anything, like, unless she's making an argument for fat distribution and fat mass, which even then, there are these magical things called breasts that do take up, I want to say on average, like 4 to 6%, which can account for some of this difference. And, you know, just other areas where when a male is going through puberty, when a dude's going through puberty, no, that's actually not true. Like, you don't intrinsically have more muscle mass because you're going through puberty. If that was the case, then you could objectively say that anyone going through puberty, through testosterone, will have objectively more muscle. But we don't see this. You see in high school all the time, kids who, you know, grow up and they, like, you can look at a high schooler and you will see a wide range of both, you know, males and females who have a wide range of muscle mass. That is absolutely factually untrue.
Males have longer limbs and more bone density, thicker bones, and this is important to note because the hormones, no matter the age you take.
And again, these are all averages. These are not 100% of the case guaranteed. Otherwise, you won't see people who, like, because really, if you look on average, like the average height between, because men are typically told that they have to be stronger. It's for men. It's a dick measuring contest. Women don't really care, and in fact, a lot of women are stronger than men, because women more easily develop. Women develop denser muscle mass. All right, United States. This is our averages. Average height. United States. 175, 5'9" versus 5'3.5". That's not on average. That's a 6-inch difference. That's nothing.
Do not reverse.
Like, if you actually look at it, female muscle mass tends to develop more compact. In a lot of cases, male muscle mass it's not easier for men to get muscle mass. You just see more men dedicate more time to it. Like, believe me, like, the only thing that testosterone actually does for the human body is accentuate muscle definition. It doesn't have anything to do with mass.
The development of your bone structure. Once you have it for life. Doesn't matter how long you're on hormones post that. If you have it, you have it. It does not reverse it. It does not change it.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, like, all of my muscle definition has come after I started taking estrogen. Like, and not just like, oh, I started taking estrogen day 1, and then day 2 I started working out. No, like, I started taking estrogen, and in like 2 years I started working out, and now I'm stronger than I've ever been, despite my Well, no, it's just conservatives have been lying for years. Like, science has said this for, like, the past 10 to 15 years. And even then, science changes. Science changes its understanding with new studies, with the advent of new information. Like, science looks at information as a whole and says, okay, what do we know? And it proceeds to basically say, okay, here's what we're putting out based on what we know. Sometimes they don't actually have the information they're still putting out because this is what we've seen. It doesn't actually, like, you see a new study because a new idea comes out. So they do studies on that idea and basically will find new information because people are thinking in different ways. They're taking existing data and analyzing it and analyzing it and looking at it through different lenses, saying, oh, hey, maybe this is actually worth a look. Really? That's what you're running to? That's what you're fucking running to? Go cry to Cheeto Daddy, buddy.
That does not give you wider hips in terms of bones. It does not make you shorter. None of that.
So here's the thing: testosterone and estrogen will dictate fat displacement. It won't dictate muscle placement. It will dictate fat displacement. Muscle is a preset place in the body, and to develop muscle, it takes a mannerism of, so your muscle, if you go from testosterone to estrogen, yes, your muscle will get denser. That's something that we understand. All testosterone does, again, so there's two types of muscle mass. There's dense and lean. Testosterone promotes lean muscle mass. Lean muscle mass is your pretty muscles. It's when you go through and you see someone, like, okay, let's look at Mr. Mr. Olympia 2020. This is like, oh no, 2019. I'm gonna look at 2019 winner because, all right, this is Mr. Olympia 2019. He's big. I don't know what he can lift. No, you can't roast me. Congratulations. All you just literally we're just proving you're wrong, and then you're just like Trump 2020. Like that's gonna win your argument or something. Like this dude's big, but if you look at the world strongman, these are the world's strongmen winners, right here. Like these are the world's strongmen. These are the strongest people in the world in terms of muscle, like muscle mass and muscle strength. This isn't just like, oh hey, look at me, I'm lean and fit and stand on a stage and pose like bodybuilders do. That's what, like bodybuilders are strong. Yes, I will give them that. Like yeah, they'll go out and they'll bench press, like 300 pounds. I'm not saying they can't do that. What I'm saying though is that these people right here, these people are get auto-modded. Get auto-modded. Oh Jesus. But these people right here are the people who are the strongest in the world. Like this, holy fucking shit. This dude's a mountain from Game of Thrones. 770-pound deadlift. Jesus fucking Christ. That's like 3 of me. That's insane. That's the point that I'm getting at here. Testosterone promotes lean muscle mass. Estrogen promotes dense. The only other thing that they do is they promote where fat distribution goes.
And I've seen some trans women on Twitter and stuff say that they went on hormones and like instantly like lost like 6 inches of height.
I didn't censor you. That was my auto mod.
Girl.
And I don't have any special auto mod settings. So congratulations, buddy. You did that to yourself.
Stop lying. In fact, some female athletes are actually starting to speak out. Roll the clip.
There was a problem.
I competed against
a
biological male, and they beat
Oh shit, is this?
me.
Hold on.
Madison lost to Jude Eastwood, the first transgender student athlete to compete in cross country in Division I at the University of Montana. Madison and her
Okay, and again, that has nothing to do with like, oh fuck. Hold on. What was this? No.
athlete to compete in cross country. Madison lost to Jude Eastwood.
Jude Eastwood. Oh, June Eastwood. Okay, the first openly transgender compete in Division 1 level cross country. Get the fuck out of here. She's a senior at University of Montana and high school. Eastwood won state championship, multiple track events on cross country in Belgrade. This is where it goes through to continue. Yeah, and again, this doesn't mean anything. There's no level that like a scientific understanding would look at this and be like, oh well, naturally she was going to win. There's nothing there. This is just a meaning. This is a platitude. This is a meaningless pivot.
The first transgender student athlete to compete in cross country in Division 1 at the University of Montana.
Also, if you really, really think you can win this argument, you can feel free to type !Discord. Come on and fucking debate me.
Madison and her teammate Mary Marshall believe losing to Eastwood was unfair since Eastwood was born a male.
When you look at a lot of the facts and how a male body develops through...
And again, these aren't facts. These are just platitudes that we were told, oh my God, your 5th grade biology book said this. So it has to be true. Science has no better understanding than a 5th grade biological level.
Puberty
if you do that and you do join, you're going to have to go into the rules section of it. And you're going to have to click on, you're going to have to go to the server rules and then react to the email, and then I can pull you in. And then you can join the call-in waiting room and let me finish the segment.
Like all the advantages that they have biologically on females, that it really bugged me.
So my whole thing is equal treatment is not special treatment, okay? Including trans women in sports leagues that they very obviously should not be in terms of fairness, and just doing it for the sake of posturing as very accepting and woke and tolerant does no one any favors at all.
But that's not what people are doing. People aren't doing it as woke and favorism and showing and tolerance or anything like that. People are literally saying that this is what science says. This is what the data has shown. This is what the data backs up. In fact, the data in science says a statistically better way to handle sports is to say, you should wait until go to the call-ins waiting room under voice chat. Basically what people are saying here, when they're saying this, they're saying this is what the data says. But science largely and factually says it is much better to get rid of a binary form of male-female competition and go for an objective metric-based system, because you will have outliers in every sense of the way, and it is most advantageous to take your outliers and put them into a competition together. So like say you have this would not be making headlines if it was like this, if this track runner wouldn't be making headlines if it wasn't like, oh, some District 1 track runner or fucking cross-country runner came out and blew the record out by a minute and a half because fucking who knows what reason. Like, it's literally making headlines because this person is transgender, but previous to that, if this record was beaten or anything like that, it wouldn't be like, oh, here's this big national news, and Blaire wouldn't be using it.
Doesn't even do them any favors. It's not fair to anyone involved. And here's another thing no one ever talks about. Is there any real argument why there shouldn't be trans leagues? I mean, if this is...
Yes, because you don't need them. And number one, and number two, why? What's the point? What's the point of having a trans-specific league? Like, in my town, in hockey, it's probably like 3 people.
As common of a problem to where we're having legislation introduced. Hella schools are going through this. I mean, I even know that my nephew's school has 2 different trans athletes going to the school on 2 different sports teams. I don't remember what the sports were, but there's a lot.
So then, if that's the case, if your nephew has this in their school, then you should know this isn't a fucking problem.
A lot of controversy in the school because these 2 trans students have not even began hormone replacement therapy, but they're playing on the team of their choice.
Are they? Have they not? How do you know that? Do you know their complete medical records, Blaire? Do you know their medical records? Do you have information you're not supposed to have?
And they're excelling. Clearly. Go figure.
Are they? Do you have evidence for that? Show me evidence. Let's see. Let's check. New merge, Twitter and Instagram, Snapchat, second channel. So you don't have any evidence. This is just a platitude. This is a meaningless anecdote.
Maybe a school wouldn't have enough people to populate a trans league, but certainly just community leagues, and that seems like a much fairer option.
And again, they typically don't. Yeah, I know you're waiting. I'm finishing this segment first. Jesus fucking Christ, Blaire. All right.
Now let's get into female to male athletes, because no one ever talks about that. Literally.
I have a feeling this is just going to be like, oh, well, good for you, but you're not going to win. Like,
Really ever. They're completely left out of the conversation, which, by the way, I feel like trans men are left out of the conversation a lot. I feel like it's the
well, no, they're getting left out of the conversation by people like you because, for the large part, you don't see trans men as a threat. A lot of people on who are against trans people see that as their lost lesbian sisters.
focus is always on us as trans women. I don't know why.
There's
I mean,
no-
they don't even provoke like a fraction of the controversy.
Sorry, I'm not letting the ad play. I mute them because fuck it. I'm not gonna let you get your shitty ads. What the fuck? No, I don't want YouTube Premium.
Being the first, never
Point. Good-
I would hope that no rational person thinks that this guy should compete on the women's team simply because he was born biologically
You're doing it. You're doing the fucking.
female. I don't think anyone would argue that.
You're making the exact opposite point of what you're doing before. Fucking. Oh my god, I can't finish this shit. I can't finish this.